Wunderschönen guten Morgen. Wonderful good morning. Thanks for joining us for the GR Silver Webinar this morning. Wunderschön, dass Sie dabei sind. Schön, dass Sie dabei sind beim GR Silver Webinar heute Morgen oder heute Nachmittag bei Ihnen. Mein Name ist Kai Hoffmann. Ich bin der CEO der Soar Financial Gruppe und ich freue mich heute, das Unternehmen GR Silver vorstellen zu dürfen. Einige von Ihnen kennen es vielleicht schon. Or some of you know already the company GR Silver Mining, but I'm excited to introduce or reintroduce you to the company and give you a good update together with management. We're joined by Marcio Fonseca. He's president and CEO of the company, and also Trevor, Woolfe, VP Corporate Development of the company. I'm quite excited to be hearing more about what their plans are moving forward. We have a resource estimate pending. They just announced some more drill plans yesterday, so we're going to get an update on that as well. And just an overall overview of where the company is at and what we can expect moving forward. I will be joined here on screen. You can see my colleague here, Tarik, Dede. He's our Director of Roadshows and Content, and he'll be hosting this webinar today. So if you have any questions in German or English, make sure to post them in the chat. Tarik will be translating them and coordinating the Q&A session with Marcio and Trevor at the end of their presentation. And Tarik, wunderschönen guten Morgen, schönen guten Nachmittag nach Deutschland. Ich übergebe mal das Zepter. Let me hand over to you. Let me hand over the reins and let you host the webinar. And good luck, Marcio, Trevor. Thanks for joining us.
Ja, danke Kai. Kai hat ein bisschen das englische Intro gemacht. Ich bin Tarik Dede, ich mache das Deutsche. Ich kann aber auch Englisch und ich werde das Webinar mit Ihnen begleiten. Ich sehe, dass schon ordentlich Zuschauer da sind. Bei uns ist Marcio Fonseca. Er ist der Gründer und der CEO von GR Silver. Was ihn besonders macht, Marcio kann Finanzen. Er war bei Macquarie und hat sich insbesondere um das Nordamerika-Geschäft und da auch insbesondere um Mexiko gekümmert. Und er kann auch Geologie. Er ist nämlich eigentlich studierter Geologe. Insofern bringt er beides mit. Trevor ist ein Australier. Er ist schon lange dabei und hat viel Erfahrung für GR Silver, die er mitbringt aus etlichen Projekten, nicht nur in Australien, aber vor allem auch in Lateinamerika. Und dementsprechend hat er auch die sprachlichen Kenntnisse und auch das Know-how, was man vor Ort braucht. Aber das werden wir gleich erfahren. Marcio wird gleich übernehmen. Dann haben wir 15 bis 20 Minuten Präsentation. Und Kai hat es schon angedeutet, gestern hat GR Silver gemeldet, dass man jetzt 7 Bohrgeräte für neue Ziele mobilisiert hat. Und gleichzeitig wird man im Juli, also in den nächsten 30 Tagen, hat Marcio die letzten Tage immer gesagt, nächsten 30 bis 40 Tagen eine Ressourcenschätzung für die Plomosas-Mine, die man ja von First Majestic übernommen hat, veröffentlichen. Insofern ist jetzt jede Menge los. Wir werden viele Bohrergebnisse haben in den kommenden Monaten und gleichzeitig werden wir eine große Ressourcenschätzung haben und je größer, desto besser, das ist klar. Und vielleicht noch ein Wort zum Silberpreis. Ich bin Ökonom, ich gucke auch immer ein bisschen von oben nach unten, nicht nur auf die Company. Und da muss ich sagen, wir haben jetzt einen Rückschlag gehabt, nachdem die Federal Reserve, die US-Notenbank am Mittwoch ja durchaus die Märkte überrascht hat. Die zittern jetzt vor einer Zinserhöhung, die in 2 Jahren kommt, bei negativen Zinsen, also Realzinsen von je nach Land 3, 4 oder 5%. Ich sehe das als kurzfristigen Rückschlag, ja. Und da reagiert natürlich Silber immer ein bisschen mit dem großen Bruder Gold, aber man darf bei Silber auch nicht vergessen, Silber ist ein Industriemetall, ja. Es wird jedenfalls in der Industrie verwendet und durch erneuerbare Energien erlebt es einen echten Boom. Und die UBS hatte im Januar eine interessante Studie, die hat nämlich gesagt, es könnte sein, dass wir dieses Jahr schon ein riesiges Defizit am Markt kriegen könnten, weil einfach die Nachfrage so stark ist. Und wir sehen ja jetzt schon, China erholt sich komplett quasi. Die USA kommen hinterher, ja, haben das ganze Land geöffnet. Kanada ist auf einem guten Weg, hat Kai gesagt vorher im Gespräch. Wir sehen hier selbst, ich war letzte Woche in Frankfurt unterwegs, in der Innenstadt, habe ein Spiel gesehen, die Menschen sind wieder da, die haben wieder Lust, die konsumieren wieder. Und dementsprechend sieht man ja auch, was die Ökonomen hier in Deutschland prognostizieren für Deutschland und Europa. Es läuft wieder und dementsprechend wird auch die Nachfrage weiter anziehen. Nicht nur kurzfristig, sondern auch wegen der strukturellen Trends langfristig. So, Kai started in English, I started in German, so now I'm back to English. Later on, when we do the Q&A, then I will translate into German too. We welcome Marcio and Trevor. And I think, Marcio, we can start now. Are you ready?
Yes. Thank you, Tarik and Kai, for the opportunity to present here in Soar Financial. GR Silver is an emerging silver gold company in Mexico, Sinaloa. We have today 2 past producer sites, and we control the most important or key silver gold assets in that district, in Rosario Mining District. What you see here, I'm going to share the screen, is the Plomosas site. This mountain here is the Plomosas mine area. I'll be making some forward-looking statements during this presentation. I'm on slide number 3 now. It's very important, this slide, because it shows what we have been able to achieve as the first company ever to control the most important silver and gold assets, including past producer sites in the Rosario Mining District. You can see this map here. We have a gray area, include 3 projects that Trinidad, that was a past producer gold open pit heap leach mine, but include the Plomosas mine area, that's the upper right of this map, and also the San Juan, that's on the upper right, and the San Marcial project. At the San Marcial project, we have 39 million ounces of silver, potentially open pit. That means can be very attractive for development. And the company is very close to complete 2 resource estimates, one at the Plomosas mine area and another at San Juan. The Plomosas mine area and San Juan are close to the San Marcial, probably 5 kilometers. So we are planning to integrate all together by the year end and start to do some economics, PEA, to aiming maybe for future production. But important to see here that the company not only control these ounces, 39 million ounces, and we are about to increase the size of ounces. We are very active in that area because now we control 100% of the area in the district. We have a control of probably close to 24 veins and old workings. That means we can continue to drill and discover more veins with high-grade silver and gold. We have just announced a 14,000 meters of drilling, surface drilling, and now we are going to drill in the next 6 months 5 or 6 new veins in that area on the upper left of this map. But not only we have that area that's core as a business, we have other trends. We have the La Tigre structural trend that's in the middle of this gray area and the Trinidad trend. Altogether, close to 75 kilometers of structural trends with a lot of showings. That positions the company in a very attractive situation to continue the growth. And important to say here that why GR Silver as an investment opportunity? As I said, 100% control of the assets. We don't need to pay any payment to any vendor. We are the first company ever to control this district, 100%. Eminent increase, material increase in the number of ounces. And founders, management, executives, and some of the directors have done a lot of business in Mexico. We take very seriously to have experience, not only exploring, discovering, building, developing mines in Mexico. I'm going to explain the next slide why we were successful and why we pursued this acquisition to control 100% and what we have delivered so far to the shareholders and investors. 1 year ago, we had only the San Marcial project here, you can see on the slide number 4, and the resource in the green circle here. We were invited by First Majestic to buy the Plomosas project here to the north. And we are doing 2 resource estimates, Plomosas mine area and San Juan. It's a material work because we are working with more than 400 drill holes. That represents close to 130,000 meters of drilling data. And you are going to be the first company ever to do a maiden resource estimate at the Plomosas project. It was controlled by First Majestic and was a small mine by Grupo Mexico. None of these companies ever put all the data together. We drilled in 9 months, more than many other companies did in 3 years in this project. But doing the work, we came across with veins in the area between San Marcial to the south, to the bottom here, and Plomosas to the north, in what we call the gap area. That drove our interest to buy the La Trinidad concession and position the company controlling the whole belt, the whole trend here. So we have done some work, geophysical, ground geophysical survey, from San Marcial all the way to San Juan. This has presented opportunities for the company of new discoveries and new veins between these areas. So we will continue to grow, continue to discover and add ounces. In the sequence of the presentation, first I'm going to present the Plomosas mine area, where we have one resource in progress. Then I'm going to present San Juan, a second area with resource in progress. And I'll transfer to Trevor to present the San Marcial and a bit of the Gap area. This is the Plomosas mine area. On the right side is a longitudinal section. It's a section on the center of this mountain here. The mountain is the Plomosas mine area. From one edge to the other is 2 kilometers. But we have a resource estimation in progress only on the initial 700 meters. We drilled a lot on surface and underground. There's a small mine there, but small relatively, 8 kilometers of tunnels. And now we are starting to drill to the south. So that means not only we are going to define ounces here to increase the ounces in the company, but we will continue to drill in the second half to continue to expand. And why we are so excited about this area, the Plomosas mine area, as you look, all these colors, they represent geophysical anomalies. We have anomalies to the north, that's this area here, A, some old mines that never been drilled, and have anomalies to the south on the B here. Okay. The drilling has been concentrating around the old mine because it's very accessible, but we believe we can continue to expand. This was a lead and zinc small mine, but now we believe it's going to be a potential mine for silver and gold based on the latest results. The next area I'm going to present is the second area that we are doing a resource estimate, is the San Juan, which is 2 kilometers to the west of the Plomosas mine area, but still in the same Plomosas project. Slide. San Juan area, if you see here, we have all these red lines, there are veins. 1 year ago, we had one vein only, the San Juan. Today, we have 6 veins. 3 of the 6, we are doing resource estimates. The San Juan, La Colorada, and Yacora. That means that there will be another resource in the future. We are going to start drilling at Loma Dorada, which is continuity of the La Colorada. Why? Because we came across a lot of interesting intersections at La Colorada. Seems to be more a gold system or gold silver. Recently, we have samples with close to 18 grams per ton of gold, close to 8 kilos of silver, very close to the surface. At San Juan, we had some intervals in some samples with up to 70 grams per ton of gold and 6 kilos of silver. What we are dealing here is a high-grade silver gold or gold silver epithermal vein. And we believe it's a big district because from the D all the way to this San Francisco vein area here, from the left to the right on this picture, it's 2 kilometers. And we believe that we are going to encounter more parallel veins here. So we are very excited. So again, the Plomosas Silver Project will have 2 resource estimates, which is going to increase materially the 39 million ounces that we have at San Marcial. That's 5 kilometers from San Juan. So Trevor, up to you on the...
Okay, thanks, Marcio. I'll just give a rundown on the San Marcial project. This is a project that the company picked up in 2018 and recently completed the exercise of a 3-year option deal on that project. But shortly after picking up the project, we increased the resource, the NI 43-101 resource on the project by 60%. So the project now has a resource of 29 million ounces of silver in indicated category and another 10 million ounces of silver in the inferred category. We've been working hard on this project since that time, since releasing that in 2019, looking at other potential targets within the concession. We've done quite an extensive lithogeochemical or a geochemical program across the concession, and we're just in the process of completing or just completed a ground geophysical program that covers the San Marcial concession and also pushes up into that gap area that Marcio was talking about before, which is in between the Plomosas project and San Marcial. So we're testing those veins, the continuity of veins between San Marcial and Plomosas, pushing up into the San Juan area. So that's very exciting, where we should be getting the interpretation of that ground geophysics, which is IP and magnetics, over the next few weeks. So that'll be quite exciting to get those results. Another thing we've been focusing on San Marcial is looking at extensions to the resource and expanding that silver resource that we already have. So there's an old tunnel that we've extended by 130 meters over the last year or so. We've also expanded the size of that tunnel to be able to get better access for drilling rigs. And we'll be shortly getting a rig that should be coming on site over the next few weeks to commence underground drilling. So we will be looking to expand the resource at depth, down dip, where we do expect to get some continuity, because the deepest holes that we have in the existing cross sections do show impressive results of up to over 1,000 grams per ton of silver. So we do expect some continuity at depth in the high grade material, which we would expect to expand the resource. So yeah, that's the focus of San Marcial at the moment. There'll be quite a bit of work going on there. We've generated some more targets that we hope to be drilling over the next few months as well. Marcio mentioned that we've just announced a 14,000 meter drilling program. So some of that drilling will be occurring on some of the newer targets in San Marcial, as well as that underground drilling that I just mentioned. I'll hand back to Marcio then.
Okay, thank you. So the company has a lot of catalysts, a lot of news. So this is important because it's going to continue to sustain the growth of the company. So what's happening? In a matter of 30, 45 days, as I said, a big catalyst, material increase in the resources. We will continue to release more drill holes in the second half of this year. That means potential new discoveries, high-grade veins, all 100% controlled by the company in areas that we have even the permits to, maybe in a short, medium term, go back into production. That means low risk of investment for potential investors. This is not an early stage exploration company. We have best producer assets. We have a team with experience in Mexico, fluent in Spanish, have done many business in Mexico, and we have areas with some infrastructure in place. That's important for any future development. It might reduce the capital required to build a mine. So that's the snapshot of the opportunity and the catalyst for this company. But as a very in a summary here, you can see on the left, the company has a lot of liquidities. That means the shares are traded a lot. So for investors, there's no risk to buy shares and be stuck to the shares if you decide to sell. A lot of people in North America and Europe invest in this company already. You have big funds in London and in US and in Canada, such as Sprott Asset Management, Mackenzie, or other funds, and also some family office in Switzerland invest in this company. We have a market cap of close to 100 million today, very attractive price based on the latest reduction in the price because of the economics and some announcements in the capital markets. But the company is very solid because we have close to $10 million in the bank, which can fund most of the work that we are planning. So myself, there was an introduction by Tarik, but as important to highlight, myself, Trevor, and Honza, both fluent in Spanish, a lot of experience in doing business, in exploring, in discovering, or even developing opportunities in Latin America. My track record was Silvercrest Mines, and Trevor was with Plasterdom. Honza was ex-Tech Cominco, German, and PhD from University of Geneva. He came from Tech to work with us. And people who are supporting us are important directors, like the former chairman of Meg Silver, which is a multiple billion-dollar company with a big silver project in Mexico. We have the former general director of mines in Mexico. We have a Mexican at the board level, to help us to grow the business, and some top analysts, or analyst Eric Zonscher, that is a well-known analyst in the North American market, working with us, and Derek White as an advisor to the board. So this is GR Silver. I'm going to move back to Tarik, and I'm going to move back to slide number 3, which is really important here to show the magnitude of what the company has been able to deliver. We promised investors 3 years ago that we are going to consolidate and control 100% of the key assets in this district. Today, we have this. Tarik?
Thank you, Marcio. Thank you, Trevor. This was very interesting. As you know, you can now send me your questions through the chat function, or please use the Q&A function. I already got the first questions. And the first question is regarding the situation in Mexico. So the COVID situation, especially in Sinaloa, and the situation in the labs. And Trevor, Marcio, maybe you can answer these questions.
So if I got your question, was first pretty much related to the COVID, or right? Can we repeat the question? So Mexico has been very challenging. I'm not going to disguise that. They are still slow in the vaccination process. There are different levels of pandemic in Mexico. Most of the really high incidents are in the big cities. Sinaloa had some really hot spots in the north. The Rosario area where we are working hadn't had big incidents. More recently increased a bit the cases, but we have been fortunate to not have many cases on site. We have a strict control about access to the site. People must be tested as PCR, and only visitors with PCR tested employees goes to the site. So far has been under management. It had slowed down a bit the process of getting work done. As you can imagine labs, drilling companies, they are not working at the same pace. So that's another reason why the resource has been delayed as well, to get everything working properly. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Marcio. Yeah, also die Situation in Mexiko is, I will translate that into German too, because I think half of the people are from Germany and Switzerland. And in Mexiko ist die Covid-Situation nicht so angenehm wie in Deutschland oder Kanada. Also es gibt da Verzögerungen durchaus, aber in Rosario ist die Situation gut. In den großen Städten ist es sehr problematisch. Ich glaube, das kriegen auch viele über die Medien mit. Insofern hat GR Silver hier bisher keine Probleme mit der Arbeit. Und vielleicht noch als Ergänzung zu den Laboren, man hat Verzögerungen natürlich, aber das hast du auch momentan in Kanada, überall auf der Welt, einfach weil sie nicht hinterherkommen. Viele haben gebohrt und konnten arbeiten, so wie GR Silver, aber es wird halt nicht so schnell verarbeitet, weil der Flaschenhals im Prinzip die Labore sind. Okay, Marcio, Trevor, the next question. What is the total cost of the drill program and how much is the total cost per meter?
So the drilling program that we announced yesterday is the first stage for the second half. It's 14,000 meters of surface drilling. On average, that costs 120 Canadian dollars per meter, not including assays. So you just need to multiply the 14,000 times 120. That gives an idea, but doesn't include the assays and the geologists, okay? And other work, parallel work.
Okay, thank you. Ja, die Kosten liegen bei $102 den Meter. 14.000 Meter haben sie gestern announced. Das wird das neue Bauprogramm sein. Und da geht es hauptsächlich um neue Ziele und Breckzielen und halt Gold-Silber-Adern. Das stand auch gestern nochmal in der Pressemitteilung. Ich kann die gerne auch nochmal verschicken, wenn nötig wird. Okay, then a little bit technical financial question. Were the warrants exercised last week? Marcio?
Yes, most of them. Yes. Probably there was probably 50,000 or 60,000 not exercised, but all the large shareholders exercised.
So that's how much money, Marcio?
Close to 3.6, the last bunch. It's important. It's a good question because last week, if you look at the performance of the shares, wasn't performing because there was a pressure. A lot of people exercising the warrants. So that's gone now.
Okay. Es wurden letzte Woche die auslaufenden Warrants fast alle bis auf 50.000, 60.000 ausgeübt. Dadurch ist der Firma ein siebenstelliger Betrag zugeflossen. Aber das hat man auch im Aktienkurs gemerkt. Die Aktie war ja schon nach dem Financing bei 60 auf über 70 gestiegen. Letzte Woche dann runter bis auf in die hohen 60er. Und gut, und jetzt die letzten Tage war das sicherlich marktbedingt, aber vielleicht auch noch, weil dann die neuen Aktien quasi versilbert wurden. Die Aktie hat ja sehr gut performt. Man konnte sich für unter 10 Cent einsammeln im März tief 2020. Und dementsprechend wird auch mal Kasse gemacht. Okay, thanks. A question regarding the resource, eine Frage zur Ressource. We will see the resource in July, as you said. You can't say anything about the numbers, yeah. But what is the next step? We will see the resource, and then in the next months, clearly we will have a lot of drill results from the new program. But what are the next steps? PEA, etc. Can you just go down deep here, Marcio?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, the resource is a major step because for the audience, this company is not doing one resource in one vein, multiple veins, more than 400 drill holes. I said that. It's 2 resource estimates. So that together with the São Marcial create the basis for by the end of the year, we will start a preliminary economic assessment to bring economics in what can be an integrated project, São Marcial, São Juan, and Plomosas, and maybe what we find in the middle between them. And from August to December, the company will have a lot of news because we'll be drilling a lot. So the news flow is going to be pretty much based on discoveries, new veins.
Okay, ja, Dankeschön. Thank you, Marcio. Ja, hier war noch die Frage bezüglich was kommt nach der Ressource? Die Ressource selbst wird schon eine sehr große News sein und die Gesellschaft deutlich von der Bewertung ja auch anheben. Jedenfalls sollte das normalerweise passieren. Denn wir sehen hier erstens eine Doppelressource, es sind 2 Ressourcengebiete in Plomosas, der ehemaligen Mine. Dann werden wir die Bohrergebnisse sehen, sukzessive, aber es wird durch das große Bohrprogramm auch laufend News geben, sodass da auch was passieren kann. Und Marcio hofft, dass wir dann zum Ende des Jahres oder Anfang nächsten Jahres eine PEA, also eine Wirtschaftlichkeitsanalyse bekommen, wo wir einen ersten Überblick zu einer möglichen Produktion auf Plomosas bekommen. Das ist recht komplex. Vielleicht noch mal ganz kurz als Ergänzung. Wir haben ja hier drei Liegenschaften, die dicht beieinander sind. Ich war auch letztes Jahr direkt noch vor der Pandemie dort. Konntest sehen, das ist quasi über die Straße gehen und dann bist du auf der nächsten Liegenschaft. Das ist sehr interessant und man kann das ja im Prinzip die ganzen Synergien nutzen mit der Infrastruktur von Plomosas, um hier große Schritte voranzumachen. Marcio, another question. As always, we hear that question always. What will you do? Will you go into production or will you sell at one point? Yeah. What is your aim? What are your plans? Please just give us.
I'm going to reply the question telling you in the audience what we are doing and what we are planning to do for the investors. Yeah. And the major goal is to add value. And we believe that the first thing to add a lot of value for the shareholders and potential investors is to increase the size of the project, the number of ounces of silver and gold, to create a very attractive project. And at that point, it's a production decision or it's maybe look for a partner or to sell. But before that, a lot of value is going to be created in this company by discoveries and by increasing the number of ounces.
Okay, thank you. Ja, die Frage ist hier gewesen, die kommt eigentlich immer, was will Marcio machen, was will der CEO machen und die Firma, soll das verkauft werden irgendwann zu einem gewissen Zeitpunkt oder will man mit einem Partner selbst in Produktion gehen? Marcio, wie jeder CEO, kann nicht in die Zukunft schauen, aber er hat schon ganz klar gemacht, wir wollen jetzt erstmal einfach nur die Unzen steigern. Der erste Schritt ist die Ressource, die wir im Juli sehen. Und ab einem gewissen Zeitpunkt müssten eigentlich auch von selbst Interessenten kommen. Oder man geht selbst in Produktion. Genau. Also diese Option hält er sich offen, finde ich auch gut. Es gibt ja viele Firmen, die sagen von vornherein, obwohl sie noch nicht mal irgendwas haben, wir wollen eine große Ressource und alles verkaufen und das klappt meistens nicht. Von daher ist es gut, dass man sich das offen hält und man hat ja auch im Management das Know-how, um beide Wege gehen zu können. Marcio, one question from me. After the PEA, we can see the next steps then. So that's 23, 24. Yeah. You have already drilled a lot at Plomosus. Not everything will be included in this resource, I think. So I think you could be very fast with the next resource. Is that right?
It's possible because it's common when you buy a project that the first resource takes more time because you're learning. You're gaining knowledge about the geology. The Plomosus mine area in San Juan has been like schools for us to understand the silver and gold mineralization as we go to the other veins, 5 that we are going to drill, and 24 old workings. It's likely to be at much faster pace.
Okay, thank you. Ja, meine Frage zieht darauf, ob die zweite Ressource schneller ist. Und Marcio hat das im Prinzip bejaht. Er hat gesagt, bei der ersten Ressource, wenn man etwas gekauft hat, dauert es immer ein bisschen, weil man muss es auch geologisch erstmal verstehen, die ganze Mineralisierung auf dem Projekt. Und es ist einfach ein Riesenprojekt. Dann geht es meistens schneller, zumal man halt nicht alle Daten jetzt schon in die neue Ressource packt, sondern GRSL meldet ja laufend neue Bohrdaten und macht ja auch weitere Analysen. Und das bedeutet, dass wir schon nächstes Jahr auch ein Update sehen können, also relativ zügig, sodass auch der Newsflow hoch bleibt und auch die Ressourcenzahl gesteigert wird. Marcio, one more question. This area, Rosario Mining District, is this comparable to other districts in Mexico? Can you name some?
Trevor, do you want to answer that or do you want me to?
Yeah, that's fine. Tarik, one of the important areas that we make comparisons with is the San Dimas area. San Dimas is an area only about 100 kilometers or so to the north of San Marcial, of Rosario Mining District. And so it sits in a very similar structural position in an important district of Mexico called the Sierra Madre Occidental. This is an area that contains a lot of silver and gold deposits, important deposits within Mexico. And as I say, San Dimas is just to the north of us. And this is operated by First Majestic. Now, very
First Majestic?
Yeah. So the area that we have here is very similar in geology and very similar in structural orientations as well. So we have primarily northwest, southeast trending regional structures, and more locally we have some east-west and northeast trending structures. Now, some of these different structures are carrying different mineralization. As we've seen in Plomosus, we have some key trends that are base metal hosting and others that are precious metal, gold and silver hosting. And this is very similar to the San Dimas property as well. San Dimas is a district scale scenario, and we're thinking that we have the same type of district scale potential here, including Trinidad, San Marcial, and also Plomosus.
Great. Thank you, Trevor. Ich übersetze das nochmal. Die Frage ging so ein bisschen in die Richtung, kann man das mit einem anderen Mining-Distrikt in Mexiko, der vielleicht schon bekannter ist, vergleichen? Trevor hat direkt auf San Dimas verwiesen, wo First Majestic aktiv ist und dem man halt auch so ein District Scale eine Größe zuspricht. Beide Distrikte, also Rosario, wo GRSL ist, und San Dimas, wo First Majestic sind verbunden, sind Teil der Sierra Madre Occidental Struktur, so heißt es dann, und zeigen eine ähnliche Geologie. Und Trevor glaubt auch, dass Rosario durchaus mit San Dimas, also Rosario im Sinne von die 3 Projekte La Trinidad, San Marcial und Plomosus vergleichbar sind mit der Struktur halt in San Dimas, wo First Majestic aktiv ist. Vielleicht nochmal als Background, District Scale ist unter Geologen und auch in der ganzen Branche eigentlich mal ein beliebter Begriff. Und eigentlich meint es nur, hier ist halt mehr als eine Mine drin, sodass man über Jahrzehnte abbauen kann. Und der Vorteil von District Scale ist, Du hast dann eine Verarbeitungsanlage, die kannst du auch von der Größe her natürlich entsprechend anpassen. Und die kannst du im Zweifel über Jahrzehnte laufen lassen, so wie es Barrick zum Beispiel in Teilen Nevadas macht, mit Gold. Hier haben wir jetzt zwei hauptsächlich Silberprojekte, ein bisschen Buntmetalle und auch natürlich Gold in La Trinidad. Aber das ist so ein bisschen die Idee dahinter. Also je größer, desto besser. Und wenn man das verbunden hat, so wie der Marcio und Trevor das hier auch dargestellt haben, ist es natürlich optimal. Und das könnte natürlich auch wiederum Interessenten anlocken. Ja. Yes. Okay. I think was at the moment the last question. Yeah, I hope all your questions were answered. Ich hoffe, dass alle Ihre Fragen beantwortet wurden. You can get more information on www.grsilver.com.
Tarik, there's one more question in the Q&A. Yeah. There's just one more that just came in.
Oh, sorry. Ist hier noch eine Frage?
Might as well answer it while we're here.
Okay.
When in Rome.
Okay. The question is, could Plomosis be an open pit? Also die Frage die kam gerade noch rein, als ich schon geplappert hat, ob Plomosis ein Open Pit, also ein Tagebau werden könnte. Please, Trevor.
I'm going to answer this question.
Oh, Marcio, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Plomosis is more likely, the Plomosis mine area is more likely to be an underground type of future operation. But San Juan, which is next door, can be a mix of open pit and underground, which makes very attractive project, together with the San Marcial that it's likely to be open pit to start with.
Okay, ja, Plomosas, die Antwort ist relativ schnell gefunden. Plomosas ist eher eine Untergrundmine, also eine Untergrundmine. Bei San Marcial sieht die Situation ganz anders aus. Dort könnte man im Tagebau anfangen und dann in den Untergrund gehen, was natürlich aus technischen und auch vielleicht finanziellen Aspekten heraus ganz spannend sein kann. Okay, good. I can't see more questions. Kai, would you like to take over?
I can. Thanks, Tarik. Thanks for moderating the Q&A. Thanks for translating as well. Really, really appreciate it. Trevor, Marcio, much appreciate you running us through the GR Silver Mining story. Lots of news happening. I'm quite excited. I spoke to Honza, your VP Exploration, yesterday about the exploration and tool program coming up. I think he's quite excited as well. And he was shocked that he got 14,000 meters out of you for exploratory drilling there. So really excited to see what he comes up with the next few months as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for joining this webinar. Really appreciate it. We're going to make this available for replay on YouTube very, very shortly. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Soar Financial, in case you want to watch the replay. If you have any further questions, feel free to send us an email. It's either hoffman@soarfinancial.com or Dede@soarfinancial.com. Feel free to reach out anytime. And of course, grsilvermining.com. They're on Twitter. They're quite active posting content. Trevor and Marcio are very approachable. So make sure if you have any further questions, the goal is to connect you with management and to answer your questions and make you feel more comfortable about what we're doing here. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we'll be back with more updates. Marcio, latest when the resource comes out, we'll be doing an SF Live. I'm sure of that.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks. Thanks, Tarik.
Danke. Tschüss.